Word. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Super Heavyweight. You follow me, and I'll follow you back. Love talking football, and you know what? Tis the season. We are finally here, the first week of football, and it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad it's here. And tonight, I am joined by my esteemed colleagues, Michael and Mark from Real Bucks Talk. And fellas, how are you doing tonight? Mark, I'm going to start with you. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great. It's opening day. It's Panthers versus Broncos. It looks like Panthers are up right now, but I'm hoping things sway towards the Broncos side. I mean, either way, it's an NFC South foe, so I'm hoping the Panthers lose. Maybe even Newton rolls his ankle or something, but that's just me. I mean, either way, high spirits, Bucks football, Sunday, it's only days away. It's so close, and I'm ready to go crazy and watch it.
And that is the only game that matters. Michael, tell everybody how you're doing, and let me get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like Mark said, I mean, it's Bucks football. We're finally here, opening season. So everyone's undefeated at this moment, and everyone's got a chance to get to the dance, playoffs, and that's what we're looking for.
All right. So our opponent this week is the Atlanta Falcons, a team that we ended up sweeping last season. So that was one of the bright spots of the 2015 season, and I have no complaints about that. So what I'd like to talk about is a lot of the new additions and how they're going to fit into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and are they upgrades, or how is this going to work out against the Atlanta Falcons, and how do we see them matching up against Atlanta? So, Mike, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we match up pretty well against Atlanta. I think we have, people in the trenches that can win this game for us. I think our offensive line is definitely a strength. I think our defensive line has drastically improved. So I think we match up pretty well. I think we're going to be able to run the football. I think that's what we're going to try to do. And I think on defense, we're going to bring the heat on Matt Ryan, and that's how you're going to win these games.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a good game. It is an NFC South foe, so that's always important to win those games, as that always adds up later on down in the season. So, big thing. So what I'm going to do is start off with the offense, the Atlanta Falcons offense versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. I know that last year at the end of the season, the big question mark was our defense and the amount of points that were given up by foes. Lesser quality quarterbacks were coming in looking like Pro Bowlers. And what are some of the keys that you see to coming out ahead against the Atlanta Falcons? And Mark, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, well, the Falcons, I mean, the best thing they have going, is Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, that connection. But I see more their left side of their offensive line. That's their strength to me. But like how the Bucs did all last season, I hope they do the same thing this season. Stop the run first. Make sure Freeman doesn't get Matt Ryan to do the play action pass. Don't give him that option. Make sure you're containing the run. Hold him under 100 yards, please. I mean, he is a good back. He's shifty. He's fast. He's going to get his little yards, but don't give him the big chunks. But just contain Freeman, rush the right side. I mean, we should be getting men in all the time. I mean, Jack Smith, Golson, they should be getting in because McCoy and the other side of the line is going to get doubled. So just rush the right. I mean, because Matthews and Levitre and Alex Smith, their new center, he's going to be pretty good. Alex Mack, yeah. But those are really good offensive linemen. I got to give them that to them. But the right side, attack it nonstop. Send in linebackers that side too. But mainly just stop the run. Corners, I feel like our corners are going to be better this time. They're not going to allow every slant freedom. I think they're going to be rushing, being more aggressive instead of laying back, being safe. But, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot big different, real different. It's not going to be high scoring. I think it's going to be actually Bucks playing some defense. But that's just My opinion, my prediction.
So, based on last season compared to this season, how do you see the secondary? Do you see improvement in the secondary, or is that something that we don't have to really worry about?
Oh, safeties, I'm still worried about. I mean, if it's a long developing pass, I'm worried. I mean, Chris Conti. I mean, it's not his fault every time, but if it's his first move, he's usually going to bite on it. Like, he hasn't been able to show deep progression if there is pass blocking, and over the top, it looks like people can still hit us there because we're counting on the rush getting there, or blitz getting there, and only a quick 3-step, 5-step drop. I mean, if it goes longer than 5 steps, I mean, and the quarterback has time, I'm scared because Conti and McDougal, I don't really have trust in right now. But the corners in the first 10 yards, I'm okay with. After that, it's getting a little scary.
Yeah. All right. So, Michael, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think defensively, I think again, Mark's right. We have to stop the run. That's first and foremost. Again, getting Matt Ryan to move in the pocket, getting him to reset is going to be critical, especially because when he has to move his feet, he just doesn't like to reset his throwing motion. He has trouble finding his targets again on that reset. So I think that will be critical to collapse that pocket and then, keep him in there as far as containment. Don't let him get outside the pocket where he can make plays. So I think that'll be big. But again, it all starts with stopping the run, making sure we're matching up and, being on assignments. Don't get out of position. That's going to be critical. Be disciplined in our run fits. Even, change it up, blitz a little bit as far as on first and second down.
Yeah, definitely. So, for me, I think one of the big things, and I think you guys kind of touched on it, is making sure you're getting pressure on the quarterback. One thing I found with Matt Ryan is he doesn't do well when he gets hit. And that's something that the Bucs have to really exploit that and make sure that they're getting after him and making sure that he isn't comfortable in the pocket. And I think that, Tampa can really they can do something. And turnovers are also very important. I think that Tampa will have to get some turnovers to really put the pressure on this Atlanta offense. So any other thoughts as far as the Atlanta offense versus the Tampa defense? Any specific players that you feel like need to have a really good game?
I'll say this. I mean, we're going to get our first real test in the first game of the season, the height of the cornerbacks versus the height of the receivers for Atlanta. I mean, you got Julio Jones, who's 6'4", 6'3", and a massive 220. And then you have their new addition from the Bengals, Sanu. He's not that short either. I believe he's 6'2". I mean, he's no short little guy. He's not a 6-footer, I don't think. But, I mean, these are two guys that are bigger than our 5'10", 5'11" guys. We don't have anyone over 6 foot. I mean, Banks is there, but he's, fourth, fifth guy? Yeah. So, I mean, this is going to be the true test. What can they do against these big guys? I mean, these quick slants, can they get their hand in there and poke it out, or are they just going to give away and just 10-yard chunks every 10 yards? I mean, that's my big thing. That's what I want to see, being aggressive there, because short route, short slant, are we still – is that still our weakness, or can we stop it?
And that's a good point. I think the play calling, you're definitely going to see a difference in the play calling, and I think that may work to our advantage where we can play these guys to their strengths. And personally, that's what I'm hoping to see is pressure on the quarterback, which will alleviate some of the pressure on the back end on our secondary. So that's my big thing.
Yeah, let me just say this. I think Mark's right where we have to cover the middle of the field better. We have to do a better job against the tight end. Like I said, Jacob Tamme is going to be a factor here. Just because Matt Ryan loves to go in the middle of the field. He likes to hit those dig routes, the seam routes, quick slants like Mark was saying. So I think we need to be aggressive in what we're doing as far as coverage. Make Matt Ryan throw down, the sidelines more. Make him challenge to the outside. Make the tougher throws, pretty much. I think that's going to be critical. So, guys like Daryl Smith, Levante David are going to have to be solid in coverage and make plays when they're there. That's going to be the biggest thing, because Matt Ryan's going to throw some balls where we're going to have a chance to intercept him. We just got to make sure we come down with him.
Yeah. And, this has been kind of touched on over and over again. The offensive coordinator for Atlanta is not one guy that really likes to make adjustments. He likes to stick to whatever his game plan is. And I think that, if he hasn't changed that in the past, I don't think he's going to change that now. I feel like if Tampa game plans correctly and everybody plays in their assignments and plays discipline, I think that we can, cause a lot of problems for the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me also say this. I think they're going to do their best to double Julio and make the other guy beat us. Try to make Sanu be the game, playmaker. I think they're going to try to just take away the top, the top off as far as the big play. So try to make Sanu beat us and see what you can do from there. Because we have the guys to man up with Sanu, I think, pretty much. So I think that will be a factor as well.
Yeah. And once again, just stopping the run. That's something that I know that they're really focused on. And if they can shut down Freeman or at least contain him, I think that it really bodes well for the defense throughout the game. So what I want to do is I want to switch roles here. And we're going to look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense versus the Atlanta Falcons defense. And I want to start out first with Jameis Winston. And this guy, the legend continues. You go all the way back to Monday, and that speech that he gave at the Florida State game, you don't have to be a Gator fan. I'm telling you what, that guy could have grabbed the clipboard and gone out there and coached the second half of that game and, got motivation for that team. This guy, we're so fortunate to have a quarterback like this. I know he's got to go out there on the field and prove that, last year wasn't a fluke, and he can continue to lead and continue to get better. But I really do see him doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. Go ahead, Mark.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we ain't puppies over here. We're starting to build some dogs, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, for a better term, that's why I wanted Winston in the first place. That's why we went to the draft in Chicago to see Winston get drafted, even though he wasn't there. The bottom of my heart, I knew it was going to be Winston. This team needed a leader, an alpha male like Winston. If we would have taken Mariota, he would have succumbed to the loser status that is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We needed a man to push us to be winners. And that's all Winston does.
The culture.
Yeah, he preaches, I'm a winner. I'm going to win. I don't like losing. I can't stand losing. He can't even stand losing a preseason game. He didn't even want to stay on the sidelines when he was suspended a game in college. Winning's in his blood. He can't stand losing. We needed that. Mariota's too soft smoking for this team. We needed a leader, and that's why I wanted Winston the most, and that's why I believe Jason Light made the decision, and that's the biggest reason why we have him, because his heart, his passion, his way of leading men at such a young age. What is he, 22 now? All of 22? And he's still making man decisions, having grown men follow him, that $1 million grown men following him. 22-year-old talking about changing puppies to dogs. I mean, he's our leader, no doubt, and I'm damn happy to have him.
Yeah, most definitely. And he's gone through physical changes where he's changed his body to be a NFL quarterback. And, all he has to do is put all this together and go out on the field and lead this team. We've got Doug Martin back, re-signed Doug Martin, a healthy Charles Sims, a healthy Mike Evans, healthy Vincent Jackson, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, Cameron Brate. There are a lot of weapons out there, and I'm sure I've missed some more, but I think that this team can make some noise in the NFL. They can definitely be competitive, and put us in a position to where we could potentially be a wild card in the wild card hunt.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just going back on Jameis Winston, Mark's right. I mean, the guy is just a tremendous leader, all about team. It doesn't matter what he does. It's just all that matters is winning to this guy. He just preaches winning every day, getting better every day. And guys are following suit. I mean, you just look at Adam Humphries, how far he's come. Getting guys like that just work their butts off every day, trying to get better, trying to be the best they can be on this team. And it's spreading throughout the whole team. I mean, the culture here has changed drastically. I remember, just a few years back where guys were just so used to losing that it was just an everyday thing. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to get better, and there was no will, I would say, no will to win, and that's what Winston's bringing here, and it's exciting to see, for sure.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say is not having a solid veteran presence has really kind of hindered the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for years. Just not having that one cornerstone to the team that he's been there and he's won and he can come in and lead this team and show them how to win. We had Gerald McCoy, but Gerald McCoy walked into something that I wouldn't wish on anybody, where you had so many misses on draft picks. You had so many misses in free agency. And now you have a general manager who's a personnel guy, who's showing that he's a personnel guy. I don't have to say it. And he's putting Tampa back in the right direction where they need to go. So, I like where this offense especially is. You go out and you re-sign a Doug Martin, and you bring in you have Cameron Brate who plays his butt off in the offseason and works his way up to where he is right now. And I think with the injuries last year, it helped a lot of players like Humphries and Russell Shepard to get playing time and put themselves in a position to where they can contribute to this team this year. So, basically last year up to this year, I like what Tampa has. They have depth and they have experience based on what they've experienced last year. So I expect big things from them. I expect them to improve what they were able to do last year. And, with the defense not being such a liability, I hope that should really put Tampa in a position to win more games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this, Gene. Every year, as a Bucs fan, we always get excited. Game one, let's temper our expectations. I mean, we're still really, really young. We do have good leadership, and Winston, he's got us in the right direction. But I just hope for a fast start. Like me and Mike were talking earlier in the week. Like we're excited, yeah. Like we have all the pieces, like you were naming. We have a healthy Evans, healthy Jackson, healthy Brate, ASJ, Charles Sims. We have Doug Martin. We have all these weapons, all these options to go to. But the thing is, like we are a slow starting team. We usually are coming from behind. I mean, let's hope this changes and we actually can get on them immediately, just like how we did on the Browns in that third preseason game. Let's hope we start hitting these weak pieces on the defense. Start finding the easy people to attack. I guess hopefully we start doing that early and often, and start looking like a playoff team like we want to be, like a wild card team like we want to be, or even better. So, I mean, we are very young. Just remember that first and foremost. So, temper how much we're not going to the Super Bowl yet.
No.
But, I mean,
yeah. And
but I'm with you and thinking there's something special. We can be something special. We just got to put it all together.
Yeah. And, just think about this. Around November or the beginning of December, you were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers possibly going to the playoffs last year. Hard as it is to believe, they were in the conversation for a playoff team. So I think that had Tampa things fallen the right way, Tampa could have potentially gone to the playoffs. But it is what it is. But I just feel like with that experience moving forward to this season, I have high expectations because of the moves that Tampa has made. When you go out and get rid of a head coach because you want to win now, that's why I set my expectations to where they are. You know, it's important to feel that way. You know, you want your team to win, and it's kind of hard for me to say, okay, let me scale it back a bit. But you know,
Yeah.
I won't be disappointed. You know, it's football season. I'm just glad it's here.
Oh, 100%. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mark. You know, and Gene, what you're saying. This team is definitely capable. I mean, there's a scout today that said this team's ready to win right now. You know, this team's a playoff caliber team. They have the talent. Again, it goes back to putting it together, getting off to that fast start. It's consistency. That's what we need. And it's about putting everything in motion, putting it all together, gelling, getting the right bounces throughout the season. You got to stay healthy. Again, it just goes back to execution and how fast everything can come together, pretty much. Again, we're facing a team that we should beat this week. This is a game that we need to win. If we are a playoff team, we need to beat this team and pretty much control the whole game, because this team we're facing, talent-wise, is nowhere near as far as the Buccaneers go.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, you look at them top to bottom compared to what Tampa has, and you're absolutely right. So, guys, you know, I'm gonna switch gears, and I know I kind of touched on some of the things that we were going to talk about later on, as far as the matchups go. One more thing that I did kind of want to touch on is special teams, and how do you see special teams factoring into this game? And Mark, I'm going to start with you, and I'm talking on the defensive side and offensive side. You know, how important is special teams, and how do you think, based on what you've seen, they'll factor in?
Okay, on the defensive side, or just punting the ball away. I mean, Anger, he's the highest drafted punter of all time. I mean, I'm comfortable with that, not just because of that, but just based on what he's been showing. Obviously, he can kick the ball deep. He's accurate with it, and I believe all of our people covering they're that much better. Like the competition that there was on this Bucs team, like there were players that probably make it on other teams that aren't on here, but the ones that are on here are damn good. Like Shepard is a hell of a special teams player. Like that's why he's a captain on the Buccaneers team. Like he may be a wide receiver, but he'll go out there and tackle whoever the hell is in front of him.
Right.
I mean, I think defensively going after punt returner, kick returner, we're okay there. I think big thing, kick returning, who's it going to be? Who's returning the kick? Is it Ryan Smith? Is it Adam Humphries? Is it who's it going to be? I mean, I want to see who that's going to be. It's a big question mark. Punt returning it's Adam Humphries. He did well in the Browns game, in the preseason game. That looked nice, but let's see if we can continue blocking like how we were. I saw big key players who were going to be on there blocking for him. Noah Spence was out there. Ultron Werner was out there. Like those are big key names that you're going to hear throughout the whole season. And it's looking good. I mean, those are guys wanting to get out there and make a play just to block for Adam Humphries for a punt return. So I like what we're seeing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you know, and the second part of that was the offense. I know a lot of people were whining and complaining and worried about our second round kicker, and I think he's kind of silenced the critics for now with what he was able to do in poor conditions, still able to kick, and I thought he did a great job. Roberto Arguello. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that wasn't until Florida State played and his brother decided to make 6 field goals in a row. And Cutter decided to say, we're going to trade for Ricky. But, I mean, he's proven. He's going to set everyone straight. Like, he's a damn good kicker. There's a reason why we spent a second-round pick on him. He's the best kicker in college football history. Think about that. That's not last year was in history. He'll prove it in the field. Winston's confident. I'm confident in him. And he'll put it through the uprights. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, because as you remember last year early on, that was a big problem was the special teams, the field goals and the extra points. And, I think that if he can get in here and continue what he was doing on the back end of the preseason, I think that we'll be in a good position moving forward. So, guys, I do want to take this moment to let the fans, any of the viewers, knowing if you get a chance, please check out Real Bucks Talk. Really good articles, very timely articles, and they go a different direction than what you would see from some of your main articles, some of the other articles that are out there that you're used to seeing. So if you get a chance, check these guys out. Guys, what do you guys have coming up, both of you? And I'll start with you, Mike. Did we lose Mike?
Oh, you want me to go? Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have more stuff on the Falcons coming over the next couple days. Just more player matchups, things that we see that the Bucks can attack. More game breakdown, pretty much. Just getting ready for this game 1 against the Falcons. And then, after the game, we'll just have more breakdown as far as what we thought, analyzing the game, seeing where we can get better, see what we did right, what we did wrong, just stuff like that.
Excellent. So, one of the interesting things is, because we have a new head coach, a new defensive coordinator, there's not really any game film on them to say, well, this is how we think they're going to run the offense or the defense. So, what I wanted to do right now is kind of get a little bit of insight because we do have new coaching here, and I do want to get your thoughts on how that part of this is going to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge. The coaching staff, just comparing this one to last year's, I mean, it's a vastly improved staff as far as experience, as far as just camaraderie. I mean, guys knowing each other. I mean, a lot of guys that are on this staff were with Cutter when he was in Jacksonville. So there's just a lot of familiarity, a lot of good relationships on this staff. Guys respect each other. So, I mean, just from that sense, I mean, it's going to be a lot better. I think the communication is the biggest thing. I mean, communication is going to be vastly improved. Guys know what, as far as what they want from their players, as far as what they want out of their schemes. So, I mean, going from that point of view, I mean, it's going to be tremendous. Guys, I mean, these guys are teachers first most, and I think that's going to help this team so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes a big difference. There's a difference between being a coach and being a teacher. Coaches realistically are supposed to be able to get a player ready and teach a player what they need to know to go out on the field and be successful in a specific scheme. Well, when you have a teacher, you have somebody that's teaching you and telling you, okay, you need to do this and this and this. And you're like, oh, okay, I understand. And it makes sense why I need to do all these things. And it makes it easier to go out and execute when you know this. And another thing that, a lot of people pointed to was coaching last season. And this will probably be the last time we talk about last season coaching if, as we progress throughout the season. But penalties, some of the penalties that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got last year were penalties that could have been avoided, things that you normally fix during preseason. So I'm really hoping that this is not something that repeats itself this season. I hope it's something that the coaches can help to really get this reined in and make it possible for this team to go out and just play the game and just focus on their assignment.
All right, Gene, I wanted to make a comment too.
Right.
You were talking about how the coaching is new and everything, and we have new head coach, new defense coordinator. But the new head coach obviously was our offensive coordinator, so the offense is all the same. I think we changed, one position? I think wide receivers coach or offensive coordinator is now Monacan, or what? Can't pronounce his last name.
God, Todd Monacan.
Yeah. So that's really the only huge change that we have. The offense is going to be the same. I mean, Winston's stable. The receivers know what they're doing. It's the second year under the same offense. I mean, Glennon made a point to Winston saying this is the first time he's ever had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. Like, that's a huge deal. They know what the routes they need to play. They know where they're supposed to be. Well, supposedly ASJ earlier in the training camp. But, I mean, I'm happy to see what they're going to do moving forward. Cutter, other than like Lovey, gets pissed when something wrong happens. He doesn't say, oh, they're men, they'll handle it right. No, he's going to get in your face and tell you made a penalty, get the hell off the field. You're doing it wrong. So I like that. I like that immediately from Cutter. But I expect to see an offense running on all cylinders. Like, this is year two. This is, you know where you're supposed to be. You know the system already. You don't have any rookies playing right now. It's all people who already played in it one time. So the receivers know. Vincent Jackson, he already knows the system. Like, he's 33, 34 years old. He's been here. He's known the game. Evans is ready to prove that last year all those drops was just a fluke. So we have people ready to put up numbers on offense. Like, I'm not worried about the offense. Like, if they're having mistakes and hiccups, I think that's Winston need to get the kinks out, because everyone else looks like they know what they're doing, because Cutter looks like he should be finding the mismatches around there. Defensively, yeah, it's all new. You're right about that. But from what preseason looked like, but it was preseason, it looks like we're going to get a lot of pass rush, a lot of aggressiveness towards the quarterback, which we haven't seen in years here. It looks like Jack Smith and Noah Spence are just going to get unleashed to the quarterback. We haven't seen that in years. I mean, we saw one side, we've never seen two. So let's see what we can do there. I mean, and then also with Quan or David blitzing, like, give them a chance. Let's see what we can get. I mean, it's looking nice. Like, I want to see what's going to happen. I mean, I want fireworks. I want some sacks. I want some pressure. Mistakes, turnovers. Let's get it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's what's really important is making sure that, we're, especially on defense. I think the acquisition of Brent Grimes, I think, everybody who's jumping Cleveland Browns, he's a veteran cornerback. I don't upgrade over what we had last season, and that.
I think Gene's mic went out.
Yep.
Well, what Gene was trying to say about the offense, I think, I'll go back to what Mark was saying. We just got to come out and be more consistent. I think it's all on Winston just taking what the defense is giving us. Yeah, you're good now. But it's just about taking what is there as far as offense goes. Given what the defense is presenting, just taking advantage of what is open, and being smart with the football. And I think Winston now in year two, knowing the offense, being comfortable in the offense, he's going to do a better job of taking what the defense is giving him and being smart as far as decision making. And that's what's going to make our offense go. Again, we have to improve in the red zone. That was our weakness last year. We have to score touchdowns instead of field goals. So I think that comes back to it as far as knowing the offense, knowing where to attack. That's going to help us out as far as scoring more points and being more efficient. We did put up a lot of yards last year. We're fifth in the league, but 20th in scoring. So we have to do a better job as far as scoring there.
Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're good now, Gene.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
All right. Yeah, and that's, very, very important. I think that, once again, I guess my biggest focus right now is the defense. What is the defense going to do to help this team win games? We kind of have an idea of what, as Mark mentioned earlier, we have an idea of what the offense is capable of doing, but just getting in here and seeing what the defense can do to help this team win games is very important right now.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I'll go on.
Go
I was
ahead.
going
Go
to say on
ahead.
the defense. Yeah, I mean, defensively, again, what Mark was saying, yeah, it's a new defense, new coaching staff. But again, you have guys that are superstars. I mean, we have Gerald McCoy and Levante David, who are going to be leaders on this defense. You have guys that have played in this defense before, and Daryl Smith and Brent Grimes, who I think are going to help these young guys learn it quicker, become accountable, know where they're supposed to be on the field. So I think overall we're going to be more consistent as far as being assignment sound, and that's what's key in playing good defense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, what I want to do right now, I'm going to start with Mark. I'm going to drop you in the hot seat here, and this is the part of the show where I'm going to ask you 10 questions in 1 minute. I'll give you like 60 seconds here, and just see how well you do. And I promise these are not going to be hard questions. They are football related. I promise you that. So, or at least I'll try to keep them as football related as possible.
Oh God. Mean
So,
Green, let's get it.
all right. So, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Let's get it.
All right. All right. First question: favorite Bucks player?
Oh, me? James Winston.
Yeah. All right. Question 2: greatest all-time Bucks player?
Mike Allstott.
All right. Question 3:
A-Train.
greatest Bucks running back?
Ooh. I'm going to go work done.
All right. Greatest play in Bucks history?
Oh, Super Bowl. Play? I'd say Derek Brooks. Derek. Oh, never mind. Derek Brooks running the pick six back and Warren Sapp throwing the finger up, knocking the crap out of Kurt Warner. That's greatest play in Bucks history.
All right. Best article you've ever written?
Ooh. Best article I've ever written. I'll go with the latest and greatest. Don't test Desmond Trufant because you should just go Vincent Jackson over Robert Alford. 5'10" against 6'5". Throw it all day.
And time. You got 5 out of 10. So that's not
Okay.
bad. Not bad. I'm going to go ahead and hit you with these other – I'm going to get you the last 5 questions. Greatest Bucks coach?
John Gruden. I'll
All
take
right.
that over to Gruden or over Dungy.
Okay. Who would be your Ring of Honor player for 2018? I'm 17.
Who's not in right now? Who's eligible? That's the thing. If Dunn's eligible, I'll take Dunn, but
All right. And that's just Ring of Honor at the stadium. Name one player you would kill to interview right now.
well, Jameis Winston, yet again. That's the greatest interview there is.
All right. Tampa Bruce Allen or Washington Redskins Bruce Allen?
Ooh. Pass. Hard pass. Hard pass. Both.
The questions are brutal, right?
That is a cap hell is what that answer is.
All right. Well, very good, man. I appreciate you doing this. All right. So, Michael, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here we go. Favorite Bucks player of 2016?
Mike Evans.
All right. Who will have a better chance at the Super Bowl, the Packers or the Panthers?
Neither.
Strong.
Okay.
Strong.
Breakout player for the Bucks, excluding rookies.
Gerald McCoy.
All right. Which team will have the worst NFL record? And we're talking all 32.
Eagles.
Cleveland Browns playoff contender, buying or selling?
Selling.
All right. Which team wins the AFC West?
Raiders.
Bucks record versus the NFC West.
Oof. 3-1.
3-1. All right. And you got 7, or you got 6. Next question would have been, who is your offensive rookie of the year?
I'll go Ezekiel Elliott.
All right. Defensive rookie of the year.
I'm biased. I'm going to go Noah Spence.
I would have gone for Hargraves personally. Last question. Does Mike Glennon re-sign with the Bucks?
I say yes.
Awesome. So that was pretty painless. You guys did pretty good. You guys are going to have to get some questions for me, of course, next time we do this. I'll be more than happy to try it myself, you know. I normally
the question would be like that, though. I got a hard question now. I don't want to ask it. It's too hard.
All right. So, guys, what I want to do now, we just got a few more minutes here. What I'd like to do now is get your thoughts on the NFC South, and what are your power rankings for the NFC South? And Michael, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. I'll start from last to first. I think the Saints are going to come in last. Well, they're the last team right now, I think, and then the Falcons, and then I have the Bucks as number 2, and then the Panthers obviously are number 1 for me.
Okay. And I'm just listening to what you're talking about. What makes the difference between the Falcons and the Saints? You think it's personnel, coaching? What do you see that puts them in last?
I just think the Saints defense is just still not very good. I don't think they have the personnel as far as defense goes. The Falcons, even though they don't have great personnel on defense, they play a little bit better as far as fundamentals, being more technically sound. The Saints are kind of just all over the place. Yeah, they have a great offense. I think their offense will still be pretty good. But again, it's just so hard to win when you're giving up, 30 points a game. So I think that's what separates the Falcons. I think the Falcons will just be a little bit more consistent as far as a whole, more so than the Saints will.
Right. And, we haven't got a chance to talk about this, but you saw the big contract that Drew Brees got. Do you think that was a deserved contract, or do you think that money should have gone towards revamping the defense?
I think it was justified. The guy is a great player, and if he can still play and he's healthy, you might as well keep him, because the guy's a franchise player for that team. He's the reason why they are in games. They're competitive every year. So, again, but they have a lot more issues as far as Drew, more than Drew Brees. They have a lot of cap issues without Drew Brees. They have a lot of dead money. But again, their problem goes back to just drafting. Their overall drafts haven't been great. They got to find more talent in the drafts.
All right. Okay, so Mark, I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to ask your power rankings for the NFC South, and just kind of give me your thoughts as to where you have everybody sitting at and why you have them sitting there.
Okay, I'm close to what he had. From bottom to top, I have the Falcons in the bottom. There's just way too much youth on the defensive side of the ball. They have 2 rookies at linebacker, one that was an undrafted free agent. They have no one on the D-line that was good enough to me. That defense just isn't, besides Desmond Trufant, isn't going to win them games. Julio Jones and Matt Ryan are one thing, but, I don't see it. Like, Drew Brees, I find that they're number 3 on me, or 3 or 4, 3 or 2, because them and the Bucks are flip-flopped. I'd have Saints, though, 3rd, just because I'm a Bucks fan. Because Drew Brees, that's the biggest reason right there. Their wide receivers are stacked to me. Brandon Cooks, Snead, he was very underrated last year. And they have a guy we liked a lot, Michael Thomas. Yeah, big time. And he showed up in preseason too. He's going to show up in the slot probably for the Saints too. But that defense, I was saying, they have good safeties. I'll give them that. But their D-line, same thing, isn't that good. But at least they have Cameron Jordan. That's someone who gets pressured, and he's someone you have to game plan for. I have Bucks too. They've made the most improvements. They have the most potential moving forward. They have weapons all around, not just wide receiver. They have tight ends, running backs loaded. I mean, we can make some noise. If we have any defense, we win more games. I mean, I see us number 2, but Panthers, the only reason why they're number 1, their defense. Purely defense. Cam Newton, he's a great athlete at quarterback, but I'm not a huge fan of him. Maybe just because he's a Panther. If he was a Buccaneer, I'd love him. But no doubt they're the number 1 team in the NFC South. They went to the Super Bowl last year. They're the reigning NFC South champion. I mean, they deserve to be up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, who is your standout play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And this isn't a hot seat question. It's just giving the fans another name to look at. Who is your guy that fans should really be looking for in this first game of the season to make an impact on this team?
Oh, tight end. Look at in the middle of the field this game. Like, the linebackers from Atlanta need to get exposed. Hands down, need to get exposed. I don't know if that's Cameron Bray or Austin Seferian-Jenkins, but look for them to be targeted frequently with play action and hit the tight end over the top. Like, that's the main targets I'm looking for right there in Atlanta game 1.
Okay. Do you think we'll see a lot of 2 tight end sets?
Oh, plenty. I mean, I wrote an article, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, about we have no definitive fullback. Someone even asked us on Twitter, like, oh, where's your Forsey Lane? I'm like, well, he didn't sign back. He snapped his leg in half. But, I mean, we don't have a definitive fullback. We have Stalker and Alan Cross. I mean, no one knows who Alan Cross even is. I mean, he played fullback and tight end in college, but he didn't really definitively play like fullback. That wasn't his position. He was labeled a tight end. So we don't have one. So you better believe there's going to be plenty of 3 tight end sets, and it worked for us last year. It's probably going to work again. I mean, who can block 3 men that big? I mean, it's kind of hard. So
absolutely.
Don't run until it don't work.
Yeah, and with Danny Vitale not making the team, that was another player that a lot of fans believed was a potential answer at fullback, but that didn't work out for him. So that's somebody that fans, if you get a chance, check the tight end position, and maybe something to watch for. Now, there was a free agent signing this week, and I wanted to get both of your thoughts on bringing Cecil Short into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. What do you think of that move?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great move. Like I said this past week, I think it just opens up the offense even more. It gives Jameis another veteran to attack the defense with. It gives he's a guy that's consistent. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to pick up this offense fast. And he'll probably make some big plays coming this week. I think it allows us to mix and match as far as who's playing in the slot, who's playing outside. We can, move Evans and Jackson around a little bit more. Work them inside. Work them in the slot a little bit, and have Cecil Shorts on the outside. I mean, it just adds another playmaker to this offense, which we need. And again, it just adds depth overall. I mean, in case Vincent Jackson goes down or Evans goes down, we have a guy that can step in and make plays on the outside for this offense.
Yeah, and that's something that we really needed last year, was that depth at wide receiver, and we saw how that kind of hamstrung Jameis Winston a little bit, but he did make the most of those opportunities. So, Mark, I wanted to get same question for you. What did you think of the signing of Cecil Short?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. I gave Mike a couple text messages on that, explicit words about how happy I was. But because, not only is he – when did we ever see a veteran we signed that has been like an actual player in the NFL. We've never done actually late cuts, and he chose to come to us. I mean, we tried him out, but I mean, he still has to choose. Like, are the Bucs going to be a contender, or are they going to be a pretender? Like, he has to also think Winston's going to lead this team to somewhere. They're not just going to be a bottom dweller, just getting first pick. No, he believes they're going to do good, and he thinks he's going to be getting playing time. He's a guy that's had almost 2,000-yard season. I think he had almost 1,000-yard season with the Jaguars once or twice. I mean, I think it was a 900-yard season and an 800-yard season. And he brings a different dimension. He's not just big and slow route developing player like Evans and Jackson. He's like a Humphreys who's short and shifty. He's 6 foot, but he still has shiftiness to him. And he's something that we've never had. That's like a Charles Sims, like someone who can make you miss type of player and actually go down the field. So I like that. I mean, and if Humphreys isn't doing it, Shorts can step right in. He's 29. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing on the field. And I know it was only 1 year he was with Cutter, but it was his rookie year. That's probably when he was thinking the most, more trying to absorb the most. So let's see if he can add to it. I'm really, really happy with the signing. I think it's going to be a really actually like how would you say, like something that's going to show up on the field for a better word.
Yeah, it's going to actually add value to the offense. Now, another guy that I saw his name flash across Twitter a few times is Jacquizz Rodgers. And I didn't hear anything else. I know there were some issues with how much they would have to pay him if he signed at a certain time as opposed to signing at a different time. So I don't know if you guys had heard anything else about him potentially being signed or if the Bucs decided they didn't really need him.
Yeah, I mean, he could possibly be an option next week. The Bucs didn't want to sign him this week, I don't think, just due to if we sign him this week, we'd have to guarantee his contract for the whole year. So if we sign him next week, his contract's not guaranteed. So it's less risk involved. That's why they promoted Peyton Barber up to the active roster. So I mean, he could definitely be an option come next week. See how Peyton Barber does. If they're not comfortable with Barber, definitely Rodgers is a guy that they could bring in. A guy that knows his offense, someone that can help as far as pass protection, catch the ball in the backfield. So definitely could be an option next week, but that remains to be seen.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's almost 11 o'clock now, guys. I really appreciate you coming on with me and talking a little bit of Bucs football. And please, both of you, I'm going to start with you, Mark. Let's promote your show or your blog spot. Any upcoming articles or anything that you have going on. I would like to get you guys back on again next week. But, for now, just tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and check out your articles.
Yeah, you can get a hold of us at realbuckstalk.blogspot.com or at realbuckstalk on Twitter. We're on Facebook as well at Real Bucs Talk. Pretty much all we're going to be going over leading up to the game, any mismatches we see, weaknesses we see, things that the Bucs should be attacking that Atlanta really can't guard against us. I mean, that's offense and defense. And where are we weak in, where should we hide our weaknesses in? And after that, after the game, we're going to give our game analysis. Like Mike said earlier, where do we make mistakes? Where can we improve on? What did we mess up that we may have given up a big play, or what caused us to win or lose the game? Hopefully it's a win the game. But it's more Bucs coverage nonstop. We live and breathe the Bucs. That's all you're going to hear all through the year and following year after year.
All right. And Michael, the same question.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mark. Pretty much basically what he said. I mean, we love talking Bucs football, so if fans have any questions, just hit us up on Twitter or Facebook or even on our blog. You can leave comments. So, yeah, I mean, we're just ready for the season to get started. I think it's going to be a good year. It's going to be fun. We love covering the Bucs, talking about the Bucs, so it's just going to be awesome, and we can't wait.
Yeah. and for me, this is my home. This is what I enjoy. It's a lot of fun because I love this team, and I've seen the bad years, I've seen the good years, and more of the bad years, and hopefully we're on to the good years again. And you know, I have a lot of high expectations for this team. A lot of fans may not, but just listening to the general manager and what he's saying for the fans that they want to win now, I want to win now too. You know, it's just very painful to division year after year, and something has to change. And Tampa is putting itself in a position to make some of those changes. So that's kind of my approach to this team and how I'm looking at it. But you know, I'll definitely be breaking down the game film once it's available after this game on Sunday, and we'll be definitely talking about the Atlanta Falcons and how the game went, win or lose. So, guys, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. And, folks, that's it for me. Last words of the day. Take care of each other. Everybody look out for each other. You know, we're in this world together, so we got to make it work. Have a good night.